What if the person sitting next to you was not who they seemed? What if behind the mask of kindness and charm there lurked something darker, something more sinister? Picture this: a smile that hides a secret, words that sound sweet but sting like poison. It's a reality that could be unfolding right now, right beside you, without you even knowing. Evil doesn't always roar like a beast. It whispers, it lingers, it blends in, wearing the face of familiarity. It walks among us, disguised in the everyday, yet leaves behind a trail of subtle signs. And what if I told you that the very person you trust might be harboring a hidden darkness? The truth is, they don't always show themselves through grand gestures of malice. Sometimes they show up in the smallest, most unexpected ways. In today's story, we're diving deep into 6 red flags, 6 chilling signals that could reveal the darkness in someone you thought you knew. These are not the obvious signs of evil, but the quiet, creeping clues that might slip under your radar until it's too late. Are you ready to uncover the hidden dangers lurking just beneath the surface? Stay close, because these red flags are about to change everything you thought you knew about the person next to you. Trust is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. It's what binds us to family, friends, and colleagues. But what happens when trust is misused? When it's manipulated and used as a weapon against us? The reality is far more dangerous than we might realize. Evil doesn't always announce itself with a loud, dramatic entrance. More often it enters quietly through the cracks of our trust and familiarity. Imagine this: the person closest to you, the one you lean on, the one you confide in. What if they aren't who they seem? Evil can hide in plain sight, camouflaged as someone we know well. It doesn't need to roar to be deadly. It just needs to be close enough to gain access to your life, your secrets, your vulnerabilities. The quietest betrayals often come from those we trust the most. It is in this delicate space that the most dangerous kind of manipulation thrives. When you trust someone, you open a door to your heart, your thoughts, your very soul. You share pieces of yourself that you wouldn't share with just anyone. And that is exactly what makes it so dangerous when trust is abused. Evil takes its time, weaving a web of deceit and manipulation bit by bit until you find yourself tangled in it. It speaks the language of friendship, kindness, or love, but its true nature is far from innocent. The person who has slipped into your life with charm and warmth may not have your best interests at heart. Their quiet manipulations, the subtle ways they twist the truth or steer your decisions, may go unnoticed at first. But slowly, insidiously, they erode your sense of reality and control. They make you doubt yourself, question your instincts, and second-guess your choices. This is the quiet danger of trusting the wrong person, the slow, steady erosion of your peace, your judgment, and your autonomy. It's a dark reality that often goes unnoticed until it's too late, until the web is too tangled to escape. And once evil has its grip on your trust, it's hard to see the truth clearly again. So be cautious who you let close, because trust is not always as safe as it seems. The most dangerous people are often the ones who have the best disguise: familiarity. Kindness can be a double-edged sword. At its best, it lifts us up, brings us together, and creates bonds of trust. But when kindness is nothing more than a mask hiding ulterior motives, it becomes one of the most dangerous tools in the hands of evil. It's the kind of deception that's hard to detect, wrapped in warmth and affection, yet hiding something far darker underneath. You've met them before: the person who is always there for you, who listens to your problems, offers a comforting word, and showers you with affection. Their kindness seems genuine, their love unwavering. But behind that sweet smile, behind the caring gestures, is a hidden agenda. Evil does not always come with a roar. Sometimes it comes dressed in a hug, a compliment, or a helping hand. The person who makes you feel like they're your greatest ally may very well be the one pulling the strings in the background, twisting the truth and manipulating your every move. This is the most insidious form of wickedness, the one that wears the mask of kindness and love. It's easy to fall for because it preys on your need for connection, your desire for trust, and your hope for genuine relationships. Evil hides behind this mask, building a foundation of false security, only to exploit it later when you're least prepared. The damage caused by this kind of deception is deep because it involves the things we hold closest to our hearts: trust, affection, and love. The person who plays this role knows exactly how to use your vulnerabilities against you, turning your own feelings of affection into a tool for control. They may not be violent, they may not even raise their voice, but their manipulation is far more effective because it's built on the belief that they have your best interests at heart. The danger of trusting someone whose kindness is a mask is that you may not recognize the manipulation until it's too late. They know how to charm, how to convince, and how to deceive, making you question your own instincts and leaving you isolated in the end. When love and kindness are used as weapons, it's a slow burn that can destroy everything you hold dear, all while you remain convinced that you're being cared for. Beware the false face of kindness. It's often the quietest, most dangerous threat. The truth is powerful. It's the foundation upon which we build trust, make decisions, and navigate our world. But what happens when truth is no longer a beacon of clarity, but a weapon used to mislead and manipulate? Evil knows how to twist the truth, distorting it until it's no longer recognizable, leading those around it into confusion and doubt. Evil doesn't always show up with an obvious, blatant lie. Instead, it works subtly, bending reality just enough so that the truth becomes a shadow of itself. It's like a masterful illusionist, creating a world where facts are distorted and certainty is replaced with confusion. The person behind this deception doesn't have to yell or argue. They simply plant seeds of doubt, shift details, and play with perception. Over time, those around them begin questioning their own judgment, unsure of what's real anymore. This is the true power of manipulation, the ability to reshape the truth to suit one's needs. Those who thrive on distortion don't care about the consequences. They are willing to warp reality, regardless of the harm it causes. The lines between fact and fiction blur, and the victim becomes lost in the chaos of conflicting narratives. Think about the times when you've heard a story, only to discover later that parts of it were twisted to serve someone else's agenda. The manipulator knows how to selectively omit details, alter perspectives, or even introduce false facts to gain control. They might tell you what they want you to believe, but it's never the whole truth. It's a carefully crafted version designed to pull the wool over your eyes and guide your decisions in the wrong direction. In the hands of someone with ill intentions, the truth becomes a weapon, a tool to exploit, deceive, and conquer. Once the truth is distorted, it becomes nearly impossible to trust anything or anyone. And that's exactly what evil wants: a world where uncertainty reigns, where lies seem like truths, and where nothing is ever clear. When the truth is twisted, you lose your grip on reality, and that's when manipulation truly takes root. There's something chilling about the person who smiles when others fall. It's not just indifference, it's the dark pleasure they take in someone else's suffering. When you encounter someone who finds joy in another's misfortune, you're not dealing with a simple antagonist. You're face to face with a malevolence so deep, it feeds on the pain and humiliation of others. True evil doesn't just ignore the pain of others, it revels in it. The person who mocks, ridicules, or even celebrates when someone else is hurt is playing a dangerous game. They thrive on the suffering of others, seeing it as a way to elevate their own sense of power or superiority. They feed on the weakness they perceive in others, using it to inflate their own fragile sense of self. For them, it's not enough to be successful. They want to see others fail, stumble, and be broken. It's a horrifying sight when someone turns the misfortune of another into a source of entertainment. But this isn't just cruelty, it's a clear sign of something much darker at play. To find joy in the suffering of others is to lack empathy completely, to disconnect from the humanity that binds us all together. This isn't just an occasional lapse in character, it's a fundamental flaw in their soul, a darkness that's been cultivated over time. Those who take pleasure in others' pain often disguise it well, hiding behind jokes or sarcastic comments, but their true intentions are laid bare in their actions. Whether it's celebrating a colleague's failure, mocking a friend's struggle, or rejoicing in someone's loss, these individuals are driven by a twisted sense of joy that feeds on destruction. The most disturbing part of it all is that this kind of evil doesn't always show itself in grand gestures. It can slip by unnoticed in everyday interactions, disguised as humor or harmless teasing. But beneath the surface, it's a deep well of malice, constantly seeking ways to bring others down in order to feel better about themselves. If you notice someone reveling in another's suffering, take a moment to look deeper. There's a darkness in their heart that they may never fully reveal until it's too late. In a world where purity and goodness stand as the highest virtues, there is an insidious force that seeks nothing more than to corrupt them. Wickedness doesn't just oppose what is virtuous, it strives to defile it, twist it, and turn it into something unrecognizable. Like a poison that seeps into a clear stream, it seeks to taint innocence and blemish the sacred. It doesn't shout or roar, but it works quietly, stealthily, slowly chipping away at the things you hold most dear. It targets innocence, the very essence of what makes people pure, and tries to soil it with doubt, temptation, or moral decay. Imagine a child, untouched by the harshness of the world, yet exposed to the vileness of the adult world too early. That loss of innocence is no accident, it's the work of something evil, something that seeks to replace purity with darkness. The same thing happens with goodness. When something good is established, an act of charity, a moment of selflessness, a belief in truth, wickedness doesn't simply oppose it. No, it mocks it. It turns good into something contemptible. What was once held in reverence becomes a target for ridicule and disdain. It's a perverse game for those who seek to pervert the natural order of things. They twist virtue, laughing at its simplicity, and turning it into something twisted and unrecognizable. Evil is not always loud and obvious. Often it works in the quiet corners, poisoning minds, altering perceptions, and changing hearts. A once beautiful act of kindness becomes a means of manipulation. A pure love is turned into control. The very foundations of goodness are eroded, until all that's left is a hollow shell of what was once pure. The tainting of innocence and goodness is one of the most devastating forms of evil, because it destroys the very things that keep society intact. Without innocence, without goodness, there is nothing left to protect us from the dark forces that lurk in the shadows. It is through this subtle defilement that wickedness gains the most ground, not by attacking goodness head-on, but by making it seem irrelevant or foolish. The fight for purity, for innocence, is not a simple one. It's a battle against the forces that seek to corrupt what is naturally good, to turn virtue into vice, and to mock the very ideals that keep us human. It's a quiet, dangerous battle, one that threatens to turn everything we know upside down. There's a darkness that feeds on chaos, and it spreads like wildfire through the fabric of society, burning everything in its path. This is the evil that thrives in conflict, spreading toxicity, stirring division, and tearing apart relationships that once seemed unbreakable. It doesn't come with a bombastic roar or an immediate confrontation. No, its true power lies in its ability to seep in slowly, distorting trust and fostering an environment of suspicion, hatred, and separation. We've all seen it, how a small disagreement, a piece of gossip, or an unspoken grudge can snowball into something far more damaging. It starts with a whisper, a seed of doubt planted in the mind, and before long, that seed has grown into a full-blown rift. Friendships are tested, families are torn apart, and entire communities are left fractured and disillusioned. This is the work of evil in its most subtle form. It doesn't always strike directly. It simply makes people question each other, sets them against one another, and breeds a deep sense of mistrust. The chaos that results isn't random, it's orchestrated. Evil feeds on the fear of the unknown, the frustration of misunderstanding, and the bitter taste of resentment that grows when people stop listening to one another. What's worse is that this kind of division doesn't just happen on a personal level. It seeps into communities, even societies at large, creating wedges where unity once thrived. Political disputes, ideological differences, cultural clashes, these are all fertile ground for evil to plant its roots. It divides, distracts, and destroys the cohesion that holds people together. The more chaos it creates, the stronger it becomes. When evil spreads division, it doesn't just leave people isolated, it leaves them vulnerable. It opens the door for manipulation, for those who thrive on power to step in and capitalize on the disarray. Relationships that could have been bridges are now walls, and entire communities, once strong in their togetherness, are now fractured and lost. The spread of toxic chaos is a silent destroyer, one that doesn't need violence to achieve its goal, just a little discord, a lot of confusion, and a steady flow of misinformation. And once it takes root, there's no telling how far it will go. As we've uncovered today, evil doesn't always appear in the way we expect. It doesn't always come in a frightening form, or make its intentions immediately clear. Sometimes it hides in the most familiar places, in the people we trust, in the kindness we receive, and even in the truth we think we know. It slips into our lives with the stealth of a shadow, turning affection into manipulation, love into control, and trust into betrayal. From the quiet danger of trusting the wrong person to the toxic chaos it spreads, we've seen how evil can tear apart relationships, corrode innocence, and lead entire communities down a path of destruction. But knowing the signs, recognizing the subtle shifts, and trusting our instincts can make all the difference. Awareness is power. It's not just about protecting ourselves from external harm, but about understanding the deceptive forces that might already be lurking within our circles. So next time you feel that nagging doubt, that inner voice questioning someone's intentions, don't ignore it. Trust is a precious thing, but it's even more important to trust ourselves. Stay vigilant, stay aware, and never forget the quietest dangers are often the most deadly. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay safe, and remember, the truth is often harder to see than we think. Keep your eyes open because evil hides in the most unexpected places. Thanks for watching.